You ain't getting money, boy, that's just loose change, hey. Boy, that's just loose change, hey. Boy, that's just loose change, hey.
So how was your experience at the internship? What was that like?
It was amazing. It was my first internship ever, and honestly, my favorite part about it was, I would have to say, the culture there. Like, you're walking around, everyone's like smiling, everyone's feels like so great to be there. Everyone's so welcoming. Like, on your first day, my first day, like, I felt like a little bit intimidated. I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
And then everybody's just so welcoming. It was great to be there. Like, every day I'd walk in and you could literally feel it as soon as you opened the door. Like, it was amazing.
Cool. How did you end up at the internship in the first place?
So I have a very close family friend, Claude Silver, who's I don't know if you know her, but she's the chief heart officer. Oh. And it was last year during fall, I sent her an email just because I was very interested in what Gary does. I love all his content on Instagram and everything, but I had no idea what his company was like at all. So I was I just wanted to be near him.
Yeah.
So one day I asked Claude, I was like, Claude, is there any way, are there any openings for internships at VaynerMedia?
Yeah.
I'm decent with Excel. I'll work my ass off. And then she showed that email to Gary, and Gary was wow, I love the way he wrote that email, and I want him on my team. So that's how I ended up specifically on Team Gary.
And what was your job profile? What were you supposed to do?
My job profile, so I was a social media intern. I guess you could say was my official title on Team GaryVee, but what I did on a day-to-day basis changed every single day. That's what kept it so exciting, honestly. And
what was something an example what you were doing on an everyday basis?
On an everyday basis, so on an everyday basis, I received all of Gary's mail sent to the office. I would type that into Excel. I'd track that, see if either that was supposed to be given directly to him or to set aside or something, depending on the level of importance.
Yeah.
And then things I did, I ran three Instagram accounts under the titles of Gourmet, Awesome, and I also did a bunch of CMing on a few other accounts, like Team GaryVee on that Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I also ran and grew the Team Gary TikTok account, which was a bunch of fun.
How cool. Yeah. What was your first time using TikTok?
Yeah. So one day, my manager, May, she's the best, honestly. I love May. She sat me down one day and she's like, all right, I have a new task for you. You're going to take over the TikTok account. At the time, it had one post, I think, from another team member, Andrew. He posted that. Yeah. And at the time, it had I don't even know, probably under 1,000 followers. And I had no idea what TikTok was. I was like, a bunch of young people are using it. I have no idea what I'm doing. But over time, I just test different content and found out what works, what doesn't work, etc. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And what would you say, what was the biggest thing you learned being in that kind of an environment?
The biggest thing I learned being in that kind of environment is that I need to find an environment like that wherever I work. Being at a media agency an ad agency, that's not exactly what I want to do, just because I'm interested in more of finance. I want to start my own hedge fund eventually. But all I know is whenever I get a job, I need to look for a culture that is similar to that. And if it's not, then I'm leaving, no matter how much I'm getting paid, no matter what,
Yeah, how cool. I know so many people I've spoken with that tell me the biggest thing is the ROI of people and how amazing and the kind of connections that you can build there, because how everyone's kind of really open to saying hi and building that relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
can you rephrase that? I missed part of that.
No,
actually.
I was saying I was gonna jump onto the next question. So if you can
Yeah.
Now what's your end goal? What's your ambition? What's your dream? What is it that you want to do?
This is gonna sound very cliche, but honestly, like just to be happy, like with whatever I do.
Yeah.
There's no like it's not like Gary says this all the time. Like happiness isn't like an end goal, but piggybacking off what I said was us being happy with what I do and being interested in it as well, and being around people that like make me a better person as well.
And that culture and that environment was a huge reflective of how you shaped your end goals now.
Yeah, so that environment was the ideal culture like that I want to work in,
Yeah.
but just not the ideal like type of work I want to do. So I want to find like a hybrid of what I'm interested in and
Yeah.
also like that great culture that's there as well.
We usually ask people, what's your story? But just
Yeah.
to cut it short, my question to you would be, what is something that is really, really important to you in terms of an experience, in terms of a lesson that you learned, in terms of an incident that happened?
I would definitely say so. I live in Connecticut, and Vayner Media is headquartered in Hudson Yards.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say making time like to spend time with family, definitely, because there were days where I would stay, like most of the days I would stay in the city with my grandma, and like I'd come home, sometimes I'd have dinner with her, but also like on the weekends, I made it a priority to like see my sister, my mom, and my dad. So just because I was so busy working like 9 to 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely say finding that like balance between work and family.
So how long was your internship?
The internship was 10 weeks.
10 weeks. And was this your first time living by yourself and being to like another city all alone?
Yes and no. Like I was a freshman, so I lived in a dorm alone. But like this was kind of like the next step for me, because I would stay in the apartment sometimes. Like most of the time, my grandma wasn't there because she splits time between like Westport and New York. She's retired, so she's doing whatever she wants. But yeah, I'd definitely say that.
And how much time do we have left, just by the way?
I have until 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I said so you can just fire away.
Okay. So I was asking, we really touched on the topic on, are you happy? So my question to you would be, are you happy?
Like as of right now?
Yes.
Yes.
And
I would say, why?
Yeah, like would you say, has this been like consistently, or was there a shift, or what, like has the journey been for you?
Yeah, so I would say like while I was working at Vayner,
Yeah.
it was like I was at like a 9, like if out of 10 I would say, and then come back, like I'm super excited to be back at school, like hanging out with my friends, whatever, taking new exciting classes that have to do with what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I'd say like now I'm like at an 8, just because it's not like I'm not surrounded by as many positive people,
Yeah.
but I'm still like super happy in general. So.
And was it the same thing earlier before you started the internship?
I'm always a pretty happy guy, but the internship just
Accelerated
I feel like
that.
it's a mix of like the positive culture that's there and also like getting work done, like that feeling of just waking up early, getting a ton of work done, and then going home at the end of the day knowing that like you did your part feels amazing. So.
And what would you say, like being in that culture and being around those people, would you say that you really picked up on attributes that they were looking for in people?
Yeah, absolutely. So the number one attribute that I noticed there was, well, the positivity kind of led to like a gain in my overall confidence, I would say. Just because everybody's there, everyone's like loves what they do, and because of that, they're good at it. So that like that vibe just kind of like radiates off, and you pick that up.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
And now that we have time, I'll ask you the question, what's your story? You, like, what's up?
What's my story? All right. I was born in Long Beach, California, and I only lived there for a year, and then I spent most of my life in Stamford, Connecticut. I would say similar to like what Gary says all the time, I truly believe that like my parents did an exceptional job raising me. That's kind of sounds like narcissistic, but
No, we
like
get
I
it.
just want to, yeah, I just want to credit them. Like
Yeah.
I feel like anytime like I'm struggling or anything, like I always know that I can go to my family if anything is up. So like I was raised with family just being like one of the most important values that I have, and also another one I would say is that like being in school, I always remember like my parents never pressured me to like get good grades, but they always like pressured me to do my best.
Yeah.
So like if I came home one day and I got like a 75 on my test, or like like a worse grade, like a 70 or something,
Yeah.
they wouldn't get mad. They're like, "Did you try your best?" And then if I said yeah, then that would be it. Like they wouldn't be mad, but they'd be a little disappointed. But just like that re-encouragement of just knowing that if I gave it my all, that they would be happy.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the key driving factors. That's like I credit my like work ethic to. So yeah, I don't know. Like if you have any other questions that can like hint at that, I don't know how to like.
No, it's fine. We just, because everyone I'm talking to, I don't really know them. So we try to establish relationships like that. And also I'm trying to document how to network with people. And that is why we just hit record as soon as we begin the conversation, you know? Because I would be super uncomfortable. The other person doesn't know me. So we just kind of see how it goes, you know? To let other people also know that, because I'm back in India, and I wanted to network with people from all over the world, because I was like, I don't have any friends here, this is that not happening. So I was like, wait, we have Skype, and I just started DMing people on Instagram who were in the same like industry as I was in, and like finding them on Gary's comment section and just from every part of the world, and just started like, you know, kind of building that community that irrespective of how different we are, all of us are so similar, you know, because all of us are trying to chase our dreams, and all of us go through the notions of, you know, self-doubt and this and that. And the one thing we have in common is all of us consume Gary. So we just keep hyping each other up to make content, you know, just things like that. So kind of that sort of thing. Did you always want to come to college, and what's your major and stuff? Then what was your college journey like?
Okay. Like I grew up in I would say relatively privileged neighborhood. Like it was always kind of the goal that like, yeah, you're going to go to college, you're going to graduate, you're going to go to high school, you're going to graduate, you're going to go to college, etc. But how I figured it as, well, I kind of in high school, I feel like I got by, but I didn't do my best essentially. So I'd say like going to college and learning about something that I'm passionate about just gave me so much more drive. So sometimes you could kind of translate this to, if people are doing something that they're not happy about, let's say in their career, like you're wasting your time almost. Like you should do something that you love doing so that you naturally are better at it. You naturally get better at it. You're motivated to. Because like 10 times out of 10, the person who's more motivated is always going to win.
Yeah, because then they would put in the extra hours that it requires to reach that level.
Absolutely, it's that. Yeah. But so I actually just switched my major from, I was doing like communication, which I didn't even know what it was. I only chose that because I was like forced to choose a major when I came into the school. And then over the summer, I developed like a passion for like the stock market. I love day trading. I love like trading weed stocks, which was like the bubble after crypto. Yeah. And then so because of that, I switched my major from comm to business administration with like a concentration in finance. So yeah.
That's cool. And how do you like the college culture of meeting new people and making friends and things like that?
I love college. Like people are always like, yeah, it's gonna be the best time of your life. Like that's absolutely true. It's great. Like you truly find your people. In high school and middle school, like I knew I was surrounded by the same people for I couldn't even like 12 years. And then I come to college, like you can really meet the people that are like you. You meet your people, you know. So
I feel like in high school people haven't really figured themselves out in the first place.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Able to choose the right people, but by the time in college, you're able to kind of develop yourself and become a little self-aware. Okay, this is what I want and this is what I don't want, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost as in college, like you're learning much more about yourself than like you actually are in your classes. The classes are just like kind of there as a guide to help you like learn about yourself almost.
So what would be one thing you really love about going to college and one thing that you feel like could have been improved?
One thing that I love is being in DC, Washington, DC. I go to American University. I absolutely love being in a city. There's so much culture, different diversity, different types of food, everything, you name it. Like, it's just like a shrunken down version of New York, kind of, more political.
Yeah.
One thing that I wish was better, I would say, is, I don't know, maybe the dining hall food could be a little bit better, but like I have no complaints. Like, I love it here. I'm so happy.
So cool. And would there be an incident in your life where you were really fearful about something and you overcame it? Like, just talking about on the topic of like fear.
Can you rephrase that, please?
So we're just talking about the topic fear. So was there any incident in your life, where you were really afraid and overwhelmed to do something, but you actually overcame it, and what was that like?
I think about that one. That's a good question. Can I get back to you on that one? I gotta think about that one a little
absolutely.
bit more.
You know, like going to college, and I also had Brian on my podcast. He was an intern with you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was buddies with Brian.
He was super cool. So we was just speaking, and so I am actually, my dream was always to go to LA for like 2 years or something. And recently, it's all becoming like an actual thing. So I was thinking to move on the 21st of November. And it is really overwhelming, and I'm so fearful about it. And I never really wanted to do it. It was a dream, but when it actually started becoming a reality, there was so much of like the fear of uncertainty, going to a new place, would people like you, with the cultural difference and all sorts of things, So I had to really go through this conversation with myself, which was be scared and do it anyway. Because if I wouldn't have, I would have really, really regretted it. So I've been really just talking with people about fear on the podcast and asking them that everyone had major, major fear about things in their life. But once they were able to do it, there was this whole new world that opened before them, Like just taking risks. It could be amazing, but it could also kind of go downhill.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to your question, like off the top of my head, I would say just like speaking in front of my like entire high school. I started a club called Students Writing History when I was a junior in high school, and it was kind of briefly. I don't want to like get away from your question though, but the club was just about like reincorporating people into our history that may have been forgotten, like what their important actions have been and how those have actually helped us. But I would say like pitching it in front of the like entire high school, just because like I was a junior at the time, like I didn't know like everybody in the school, and just like being up there talking about something that like not everybody's interested in, but you still like do it anyway because like you want to do it. And I would say like just the feeling of like getting that done with, or the feeling of just like knowing that you could do it is empowering.
What was your experience after that? What did you feel once you were actually able to overcome the nerve-wracking experience?
Knowing that you could do it again. Like once you do something hard, you're taking a step forward.
Yeah.
And after you take that step forward, it's like there's no reason to step backwards. It's only like you're only going to take more steps forward from that.
And what about you coming to New York and at the internship and at college? Were you afraid of like just jumping into something that you had not been in before?
Yeah, I was definitely afraid to live alone. I like everything I had to do like for myself, which was very new to me. I never had to like cook or like just take care of myself.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say that I was nervous to also like navigate the city alone. I didn't know anything about New York, but just like over time, I became more comfortable doing like going out, like taking the subway, taking the bus, etc. So,
yeah. And what was the experience like building relationships in a new city?
It was great. I like networking was new to me just because that was my first internship ever, and I didn't know how to network. Like as soon as I got there, I would try to just like say hi to people, but having my first internship at VaynerMedia definitely helped me learn how to network, how to be more outgoing as a person.
Mm-hmm.
But those relationships, all the people on the team, like I still follow them on Instagram, and like, if I'm ever in New York, I wouldn't hesitate to go in and like say hi to everybody.
Oh, cool.
Like the team had such a great bond.
Yeah. And I saw one of the one of the videos that Gary had uploaded, which is called the Fire Chat with Interns. And one of the things that really stuck with me was he was talking about tasting things. So would you have any kind of a perspective on that, on like the basis of conversation that you guys had that day?
I missed that part. Always say things, or
Yeah, always tasting things. He was talking about taking risks, being at your highest risk behavior in your early 20s.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like college in general, like that's a very big step from like living at home and just doing the same regimented day from like going to high school, going to your sports, whatever.
Yeah.
And like college is kind of the first time where it's like you're on your own. Whatever you want to do, you can go do it. If you wanna go and sit in the library all day, get A's, you can do that. If you want to go and like play basketball all day, you can do like you can do whatever you want, whether that's good or bad, and you just kind of have to find the mix. But I would say for me, just meeting different types of people, and then like those people are like, oh hey, like do you want to come with me to like this like jazz music festival or whatever? Like I've never heard any jazz music before, so I feel like the people that you meet, especially in a more diverse group, will help you get different experiences. So just meeting as many people as you can, and being friends with people will drive you to trying different things. So.
And would there be anything that you want to share with the world, with the young people, anything that you want to put out there?
Honestly, just what Gary says, like try as many things as you can, because that is the only way to find what you actually like. So many people told me this, and at the time I didn't really like comprehend it, just because like when so many people are saying things to you, you're just like, oh yeah, but like so many people at Vayner, like that was the one piece of advice they gave me, was just try as many things as you can, because finding something that you don't like is just as useful as finding something that you do like. It's just getting one step closer to being happy. So that's what I would say. It's
like getting that one yes out of all the no's. You just need one yes to change everything.
Yeah.
And can I do something to add value? Because you coming on means a ton. So, would you have anything?
I don't think so. It's a pleasure talking. Like I just love sharing my experience, so that's enough for me.
Thank you so much for coming on. And the last thing, I'm so sorry. I just take kind of a feedback after we're done with the podcast. So do you think, what was your experience like in the podcast? What made you said yes? And do you think is there something that I could have improved on?
So is it over now? Or
yes, I believe it's time.
Off the records?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you wanted to be off the record? We usually just like kind of do the whole thing.
Oh no, I was joking around.
Okay.
I would say the reason why I said yes was just because, like, I know how much, being a fan of Gary, like I know how much his fans, like how important that relationship with not only him and his fans, but like the fans have with each other. Everyone is kind of building each other up, like. Yeah. Reinforcing each other's confidence in doing whatever they do. If someone's like, "Oh, I'm having a shitty day," so one of the other Gary's fans are like, "Oh, like you can do it," So, just helping out like people that have like a mutual interest, as you said before.
Yeah.
And I don't. What were the other questions?
It was, do you think that we could have improved somehow? Anything that I could have done better?
No, honestly, the only thing I could think of is like, it'd be great if you had your own recording studio and you can do that like Joe Rogan style.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Yeah,
But
I
you gotta
really
start
hope so.
somewhere. So
Yeah, absolutely, right? And this was actually very empowering for me because I really was like, I don't have a camera, I don't have this, I don't have that. And
yeah,
I was like, until unless I start with what I have, I'm never gonna move forward, you know? So the first
yeah,
video I had, I recorded on my MacBook's photo booth and just talking shit
yeah,
and edited it on iMovie and just uploaded it. And I felt like that was a start to something. And then you're gonna,
yeah,
your improvement in your journey is more empowering than you just starting out super great and perfect, you know?
yeah, yeah, for
So
sure.
that was a huge thing. And then Gary always spoke about instead of cold emailing people, call them on your podcast. So, you know, if I cold emailed you or we were on a phone call, I'm not sure how that relationship would have been built. But now that we can see each other, we can speak with each other, there's some kind of a relationship that we've established, you know? So I feel like that
Yeah,
was something that really stayed.
it's as much as like as much as a real interaction you can get without being with somebody. So
Yeah, absolutely. So in the future, if there's any, please stay in touch. And if there's anything I can do to add value, let me know.
oh, for sure. Can you just send me the link so I can watch?
Yes,
it?
absolutely. It would take a little bit time for me to edit, but as soon as it's done,
Yeah, no worries.
we upload it onto YouTube and
Yeah.
I'll send you a link.
Okay, thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you so much. Bye. Have a great day.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.